the CNIB has been around for 100 years, if you can imagine. Great organization. All kinds of celebrations happening in 2018. And let's find out about the celebrations and all they stand for. With us right now, it's Dwayne Morgan, Executive Director, Ontario East CNIB. Good to have you here, Dwayne.
Thank you for having me.
CNIB, Canadian National Institute for the Blind. So 100 years.
Yeah, it's quite amazing. We just have a small group of company that can actually say that they've been around for 100 years. But you know, this organization started off, essentially there was a couple of events such as the World War and an explosion that happened in Halifax that really led to the need to put together this organization to help people adjust to vision loss at the time and talk about, you know, sort of getting back into the employment world and helping people, you know, sort of take on the physical environment now that you have vision loss, and a lot of those things still remain true to this day.
Okay, so you are, as I mentioned, the Executive Director, Ontario East CNIB. So how many branches are you overlooking?
So I oversee the operations here in Ontario East, so that's from the Ottawa area to Peterborough. So we do have an office in Ottawa, Kingston, Belleville, Cornwall, and Peterborough. Where
is the office in Ottawa?
It's currently at 1355 Bank Street.
Okay, on Bank Street. Okay, so 100 years, I mean, that's quite an achievement.
Yeah, and we've been celebrating, you know, for especially throughout this spring. We had quite a number of celebrations that happened in March because our actual birthday is in March. That's when we turned 100. But there will be a lot more celebrations happening on different scales in different regions. For example, we will have a great event with 13 Strings Orchestra in Ottawa, and people can certainly contact our office to get more information about that. But there will be, you know, later celebrations coming up in Kingston and other areas throughout the region.
Of course, all the celebrations can be found at cnib.ca. So what about the future then? So, I mean, 100 years obviously of helping those visually impaired, hundreds of years to come, I guess. But what does the future look like for CNIB? Well,
I mean, there's been so many changes over this past century in terms of what helps people in terms of the things that people use to help adjust to vision loss and take on the world. And a lot of those initial challenges still remain true today, but you know, we will continue to try to move the needle on people's engagement in the world of work. But technology has just been ever-changing, and there's been so many breakthroughs in the past 5 to 10 years that have just been real game changers for people with sight loss. So it's going to be very important for us to unleash that power of technology so that people throughout this country have access to the technology for one, but also access to the training needed to use those technologies to help take on the world.
So that's what I'm curious about, and I know that you mentioned some of the aspects of what CNIB is all about, but for those here in Ottawa who need the services, I mean, what exactly do you specialize in when it comes to helping out?
Well, we have an array of services. We certainly have our rehab services where people, you know, once you lose your vision or there's been changes to your vision, you know, you need to learn how to travel safely. You need to learn how to be safe around your home, whether it's using your stove or maneuvering through stairs and things like that. You need to be able to move safely in the environment. So we do all of those things. We help people maximize their remaining vision through, you know, low vision aids and color contrasting and adjusting lights and things of that nature. But we have great technology programs that can be one-on-one training or group trainings. We have these great peer support programs that can really help a person adjust to vision loss, and that's avenues where you can really talk to others that are going through the same things you are or have already been through that themselves, and really help you really get over that first hurdle that then leads to accomplishing so many things. You know, we're ramping up the things that we do to help out children and youth in the area as well. We want to have avenues where parents of children with sight loss can get together and talk about those things that are happening. And we want to try to do some fun things as well.
Yeah, of course. Fun is good.
Yeah.
So when it comes to vision loss, what levels of vision loss would be accepted to be helped out through the CNIB?
Well, the answer to that is anyone with vision loss. You know, for certain services, you know, you need to have an assessment and an eye report to get those essential rehab skills. But some of these things that we're talking about that really fall under our sort of charitable programs or foundation type programs, such as, you know, peer support and recreation and leisure and technology services. the door is open.
There must be a whole slew of good people as well that help out with the CNIB. We're talking about volunteers, paid staff. How many people does it take to run this organization?
It takes many, but we're lucky. We're an organization that people seek out volunteer opportunities, and we encourage people to continue to volunteer, because the only way we can reach everyone in this region is to, and across the country, is to make sure that we have a lot of volunteers on board, because they can help deliver services when, for example, there's not a CNIB staff in the area. But there's lots of opportunities. People can get involved to be one-on-one vision mate type friendly visiting type volunteers. But, you can get involved, help run groups. You can become a technology specialist yourself and a volunteer technology person to help out with things like that. You can be a sighted guide at events. We're always looking for sighted guides at our events to help people maneuver through the environment at those events. There's also opportunities for people to be driver guides, for example. So there's all kinds of opportunities within CNIB, and I certainly encourage anyone to get in touch with the local office and inquire about those volunteer opportunities.
It definitely sounds like you're very well incorporated in the community, and a lot of volunteers come out and just help out in a big way. So all kinds of celebrations coming up. 100th anniversary. Congratulations on 100 years.
Well, thank you very much.
Yeah, that's exceptional. And of course, all the details, CNIB. I imagine CNIB.ca for the celebrations and volunteer opportunities.
For sure.
Dwayne Morgan, Executive Director, Ontario East CNIB. Thank you very much for being here today.
Thank you.
Congratulations. And thank you for being here as always. Check out our YouTube channel, won't you?